Oh, look, major production error. My bad. Sorry about that. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Share the Tea Tuesdays. How are you guys doing? It's your girl V. Listen, I know you like, that's a different background. Where is she? Well, you'll find out later. So, but let's focus on this today because we have an important guest, a special guest that I've been knowing literally all my life, to be honest. The more I think about it, but anyways, that's not the point. Let's focus. Let's focus. So I want to tell you about the resource for today. Okay, y'all ready for the resource for today? And let me pull it up real quick because school is about to be back in session, and so the Community Health Centers of Oklahoma they're having a back to school bash on this Friday, February the 21st. 2023 at Minnis Lakeview Rec Center, and that's on 12520 Northeast 36th Street. The information is in that in the caption there, so make sure you go and you support. They said if you have any questions or hey, you want to set up or you want to give some donations, you would give Carrie Smith a call at 405-769-3301, extension 1297. And the event is from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. All right, so make sure you go out and support because school is about to be in session in just a little bit. So kids, not even just the kids, but even the college students, brace yourself. Okay, brace yourself. It's all right. So let's bring in our special guest. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, that's good. All right, so let me introduce you. This is Evangelist Tee Brown. She is the owner of Warriors Working for Jesus Ministries. Did I say all that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. And it says that it's been established since 2005. So welcome to Share the Tea Tuesdays. You look fabulous today.
Thank you. I'm sitting here trying to share this. Thank you. I'm working.
Okay. I know we both trying to multitask. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's like, uh-oh, let me help me out, Lord. Help me out just a little bit. All right, so
Yeah.
let's get into this segment of Let's Talk and just having a discussion about who you are and what all is going on with you and let's start from the beginning. Like how long have you been in the ministry?
Been in the ministry 15 plus years. I was
Okay.
trying to find my license, but it's somewhere. I know it's over 15 years.
All right, 15 years. So, do you have a family history of ministers in your family?
No. Nope.
No.
Not in my family. Well, my stepfather was a pastor, but as far as blood related or whatever, I'm the first one.
You're the first one. Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with starting off being the first one. First one, the strong one, starting off with the legacy. So,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you feel is something that, if you recall, because I know 15 years ago it's hard to remember, everything back from when, but what is something that brought you to minister or to serve?
Actually, I was when I was in my teenage. Was I a teenager? I can't remember. Either a teenager or I was in my young adult life. I had attended a church service, and I kept feeling this something. I don't know what it was, at the time. And then a couple times I've had some dreams, which now I know they were visions. And when I explained that to my stepfather, I just call him Dad. He was letting me know what it was that the Lord was calling me into the ministry. And so, just to make a long story short, I finally accepted my calling, and it wasn't easy. It's still not easy, but I thank God for the journey.
Okay. Okay. Well, I wanted to say, let's talk about that just a little bit, because we know that certain, I don't want to say people, but there may be individuals that are struggling with believing in God, or even having an understanding of what it means to have faith, or saying that certain things about the Bible is not 100% accurate. Now, since you started at a very, very young age, we're talking about teenagers, and so we can start with the teens. What is something that we as a people should do to help our teens with having a relationship with God?
Number one, I would say, is to be an example.
Mm,
Be an example. I mean, practice what you preach, practice what you teach. There's a saying that growing up, do as I say, not as I do.
mm-hmm,
And that just don't work with children of today's time, because they were the ones who, I have two boys. I have a 35-year-old, or two young men, should I say. I have a 35-year-old, and my youngest son is 33. He'll be 33 in October. But with this age, they've already read, they done studied, and they're asking you questions. I mean, my youngest son be asking me questions. I'll be like, I don't know that. And be okay to let your child know, or whoever know, be okay to let them know, I don't know. I don't
mm,
know, but I'll find out. I can go find out. That's why I tell people it's important to make sure that you have your um a person that you can go to, a spiritual person, whoever it may be. Make sure you have somebody that you can go to.
that you can go to.
I have spirit. Yeah, I have spiritual leaders, Chief Bishop Jones and elect Lady Brenda Jones. They're my spiritual leaders as well as my spiritual parents. And when somebody asks me something, or I need to call them because I don't understand something, I will call them and ask them.
Mm, okay. So just being able to be a model, like if you don't know something, then just be honest. I always feel like
Yeah.
being honest is the best policy, even though some people say you can't handle the truth, or the truth will hurt you in the
Hmm.
long run. But if you, because sometimes when we're a teenager or young kids, we expect our parents to know everything. They should know everything because they're the adults, right? But when we're starting to work on building this relationship um, with God, I think it has to come from a point of, like you said, practice what you preach. If I'm struggling with my relationship with God, then the children should definitely know. My children should definitely know that, or my niece or whomever should know that, and just know that, hey, I'm having a hard time. Um, what happens with our emotions? What is something that you feel holds us back when emotionally wise? These are some tough questions. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you were gonna ask.
I'm sorry. Blame it on the traveling.
it, it, it's okay.
Okay.
Like I said, this is the first time that I've actually, um, said yes to being interviewed in over 6 or 7 years. So, ask the question again. You.
Uh-oh. Now don't say ask the question, because I'm gonna forget the question. Okay, so I was saying, what is something emotionally? What do we struggle with emotionally as young adults, um, with grasping the concept of having a relationship with God? Like, do you feel that, and I'm gonna say, because a lot of our children are struggling with self-identity,
Okay. Yeah.
and not knowing who they are, if they're okay, if they're
Yeah.
liked, if they're popular, if nobody likes me, if anybody cares. You see where I'm going with that? So with that self doubt, and we can even say low self esteem, if that's part of it. I mean, I'm not.
Yes. That is a big part.
Okay.
Bullying. bullying. We got some spiritual bullying. There's a bullying, with the children, with even in college,
Mm.
just dealing with bullying, having to deal with that. And then um, a lot of our, I guess you could say, teenagers, um, X generational X,
Generational X.
X, Z, whatever they,
Right. The most.
uh, yeah, but
I
I'm just
understand.
saying that because I talk to so many different age groups, and so I'm finding out about them, like who they are, and uh what what are they dealing with, what they're struggling with. And so when I hear you ask that question, I'm like, I got to make sure that I'm real cautious about what I say, because I know a lot of times my words, when they come out, someone may not understand. So if you don't understand something I'm saying, make sure you ask,
Yes,
or I
ma'am.
try to be real. Huh?
I said, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. But like I said, I know that they're dealing with, like you're saying, emotionally dealing with what they've seen, like when they were younger, just growing up, right, raising up. Because I brought my kids up in church, and now they tell me things that are people that they saw back then, that's in the same situation or same spot they were back then. And they's like, well, how, so it's kind of confusing about how they were raised up in church and then how things are going on now.
Now,
You
yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
yes.
So, like you said, with the emotions, it's all over the place. Their
Mm,
emotions just all over the place because they were taught one thing, and then now they're reading or they're studying or they're going off to college. They're having kids themselves, and they're looking at, okay, what am I supposed to believe?
right, right,
You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
what I was taught, I don't see them doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you telling me that this is the way it is, and then when they're reading the book, when they're reading the Bible, because society says so many different things, they're confused a lot.
Right. Confusion. And I think that's a key word with confusion, because if you're confused, I feel like you're going to either do one or two things. You're either going to work out the confusion, or you're just going to dismiss it and push it to the side, and you're going to go on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah.
we tend to push it to the side and go on to something else, then you don't really grasp that understanding of what it is that you're trying to understand. If it's
Mm-hmm.
religion, if it's spirituality, if it's your relationship with God, or even why do I need to go to church? And I feel that, and I've heard this from several different people, that I was in church from sun up to sundown, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired. I don't want to go to church. I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore. Right.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
then it's when you start to age and you get older and you have children, and then you start to understand, like, oh, let me backtrack a little bit. Maybe I don't physically belong to a church, but I want to have a stronger relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's just kind of, I think it's kind of almost touche sometimes for us. Um,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I say us, and I'm just speaking of as us and the people when I say us,
Yes.
like no one in particular. So I just want to be clear on that, because someone asked me this question, like, how do we get the youth to come to church? Mm. Now,
Are you asking me that question?
I would like to ask you that question. Yes.
I've had some of them say, have some sessions, have some breakout sessions, do some, because they like to dance and sing and do all these different things. Have put on some what was they said? Some talent shows and, still gospel, but
Mm-hmm.
bring them in, allow them to be a part of what's going on in the church building. Because
Mm-hmm.
see, what's happening, what I see is happening is that the senior saints, I don't like to use the old word, but the senior saints, some of the senior saints have forgotten that they were young.
Uh-oh.
And so when the younger generation come in, even there's not just the young, but since we just dealing with the young, when they come in, we ought to love on them. However they come in, we ought to love on them, let them see Christ, and let them know that they're important. Find out what they like to do. What they like to do. We still need to have I'm tongue tied, so structure,
Mm-hmm.
structure.
Yes.
We still need to have that. Amen. And when they come into the church, like I said, love on them, love the hell out of them. Excuse
Mm-hmm.
my English, but we gotta love the hell out of them and let them know. Be honest with them.
Mm. I
You
like
know what I'm
that.
saying? Because let them know where God has brought you from, and make things open up for them. Open it up. But we're so closed minded because when they come in, we talking about them because the guys have uh their pants is sagging and the girls may have low cut or short. You get them in the church house first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you love on them and you show them Christ. Then those dresses, just like it happened with us. Then the dresses gonna come down a little bit. The dress attire is gonna change up. The guys ain't gonna be sagging, because you're teaching them.
You're teaching
Uh,
them.
and you show an example. You're not judging them.
Sorry.
And they always hold on one second. Hold on.
Sorry about that. I had to make sure I had this computer plugged in. I was like, let me make sure
Oh
this is
no,
working.
my son was coming in. But
Oh,
yes,
okay. Hello,
this
son.
my oldest son. But yes, so that's why I'm thinking is that um, you know, stop judging.
Mm. Hello.
And it's happening. And that's why a lot, some that I've talked to or shared with, they said, I don't want to come. It's nothing to do. Or they're always just looking at me. Great. We got to have stuff for them to
Funny.
do. Our kids are our future.
Right, right.
So,
And all of that was my answer.
oh,
That's so I'm happy I wasn't too far off. Hello, son.
me
Um,
neither.
but I do feel that at some point we
Oh,
have to.
oh, here.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
sorry.
At some point we do have to understand that we are getting older.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How did you call them? What was the term you used? The
Senior saints.
senior saints. Okay,
Yeah,
so the
I'm,
senior
I'm
saints.
sprinkled.
Oh,
I'm,
oh, you.
I'm sprinkled. Yeah, I'm sprinkles.
Oh, you spring. Oh, okay. So what am I, crumbs?
Sprinkles. You in
Oh,
the you sprinkles too. Yeah.
okay, okay. I was gonna say I could take the crumbs because I know sometimes I. Anyways, let me focus. But with the senior saints, they are
Mhm.
getting older.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
as they get older, what's going to happen to the traditions that have been bestowed upon them if we're not passing that information down, if we're not instilling this into our youth to, to come, to
Mhm.
interact, to bring people to the church,
Those
go
those
ahead.
church buildings are going to die.
Mm,
Not, I
mhm,
mean, because everybody's going to die all off if you're not bringing youth in and allowing them to, teaching them and allowing them to learn. Um, we just gotta be real.
mm.
It's too much. I gotta be careful with what I say. We just have to be real.
Uh-oh, no, don't be careful with what you say. I understand.
I know. Look, that's why I do ministry on the outside of the church. You hear me?
Yes,
But
yes.
it's so much. that's going on in the church buildings now that's turning a lot of people away. COVID did wonders for some people, and
Mm-hmm.
COVID hurt the church building.
Right.
Some of them anyway.
That's true.
But COVID actually pushed. It was a good thing. I say good thing because it pushed a lot of people into doing things that was so common to
Mm-hmm.
them. You understand what I'm saying? And we have gotten comfortable. That's why a lot of people don't want to. They don't want to go to the church building. Hello, because we're the church. They don't want to go to the church building, but they'll go everywhere else,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they're not
And
even worried about it. So
right. And
if the kids, or if our kids, children, no matter what age they are, if they see us staying home, not doing anything, making up excuses, get what they gonna do?
the same thing.
Mhm.
The exact same
So
thing.
we got to be real. I tell them, I yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah,
No, finish your sentence. Finish your statement. You
I was
got to be
just gonna
real.
say, I was just gonna say that it's time for the real Christians to stand up.
Oh,
Mhm.
I
It's
like
time
that.
for us to stand up because
Mm.
there's a lot of people that say that they are Christian, but where's Christ? There's a lot of people that say that they're saved, but you can't tell. And I'm not judging nobody or whatever. I'm always praying, asking God to keep me humble. But
Mm-hmm.
when I want to be found preaching Jesus, teaching Jesus, whatever, because He's on His way back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like how you mentioned that. And you made a statement earlier about things that people are seeing. You know, one thing that has really been, and I'm just gonna, I'm a Lord pray, I'm praying that I don't get sued for saying this. But when we have certain shows that the individuals are pastors or ministers or whatever. They're a person of faith and they practice and they do all these different things. And it shows that they live a certain lifestyle. They have certain lavish things. They do certain things that make other people say,
Hmm.
you know, we have to think about how the shows are affecting us
Hmm. Hmm.
spiritually,
Right.
emotionally, and physically as a church as a whole, or just people as a whole. Because if the children see these shows or young adults see these shows, they're going to think that when they go into the church up here by their house,
Hmm.
they're going to make the assumption that, oh, this is what this pastor did because I've seen it on the TV.
Right.
I know,
Right.
we make those assumptions
Hmm.
and it's not true.
Right.
And so when those type of shows when those type of shows come out, or when I haven't wow, but I'm
Yeah.
quite sure they're still there. But when they come out, I just feel like you're doing injustice
Hmm. I
to
agree.
serving God, to having that relationship, or even talking about Jesus, or even to bring people closer to having a relationship with God. Like you're doing a disservice. And the reason I said that is because it's like you're doing certain things for ratings, and then you're also doing things for God. Now, which one is it?
Hmm. Hello. Ratings and money.
Right, right, and that's what I was gonna say. The ratings is equaling to the dollars and all
Dollars.
this other
Yeah.
stuff. But I
Hmm.
feel that we do have to, what's the word? Stay steadfast, and not to lose focus on what we are supposed to do as Christians.
Right. Right.
Um, that's what I think. I can't say what everybody else thinks, but that's what.
Well, because people are gonna have something to say, whether it's good or bad. But I feel the same way. See, I don't even watch um those shows, and I hear people, talk about them. But I'm like, you get people that watch it, and they'll get mad, upset, angry, or
Mm.
like you said, they start feeling, oh, this is the way it's supposed to be. And I'm like, well, if it's making you mad, why are you watching?
Why watch it?
See, I was just
Turn it off.
telling someone on the airplane because I just got back and I'm jet lagged too. Just got back in town off the highway about an hour or so ago. But I was telling somebody on the airplane that it's so sad that when you watch the news, relating to this, when we watch the news, it'll make you feel good because you're hearing about somebody that won the lottery or somebody that had a baby or somebody that got married, and then next thing
Hmm.
you know, they had a shooting,
Right.
a mass shooting or something. And it just goes up and down and up and down. So in this, I said all that to say that in this new season, in this season that I'm in, um, I watch. I pay attention to what I look at now. I pay attention to what I listen to because my spiritual man, hey, this God thing, it ain't just a show or nothing for me. God has brought me through. He has brought me through.
That's right.
These past almost 4 years, I've been struggling. Since my husband um, transitioned, but I thank God for bringing me out of Lodabar, for bringing me, because I literally lost my mind after and I thank God for bringing me back. So my life now, being full time in the ministry is important, and that's what I want to do. That's why my ministry, Warriors Working for Jesus Ministry, we minister on the outside of the
Mm.
four walls, and I know it's not for everybody, amen, but I tell people, you make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing,
Mm. That's it.
utilizing your gift or your gifts, amen, so that God can be pleased with you. I felt
Mm.
that. I'm
So we can be pleased with you. So can we talk? Can we talk about that for a little bit? I know that's a touchy subject for you, um, and with the passing of your husband. And how long were you guys married?
we would have celebrated 17 years the next month. My husband transitioned September the 13th, 2019, and October 26th would have been our 17th year anniversary. But we actually met when I was 18, and the Lord called him home when I was 48, I believe, 48 or 40. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned that there was a struggle. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what type of struggle that was? Because I
Oh,
know,
it's talking as far as after he
yeah.
well, he wasn't sick. He just had high blood pressure, just regular things. You'll learn a whole bunch about it in my book when my book comes out. Still
Well,
working.
got a
But
teaser.
um just coming in the house when we were supposed to be going on a date, because we went on dates. People that know me, my husband and I, we went on dates every weekend when he didn't have to work. We made sure that we went on dates, and so we were supposed to be. Long story short, we are supposed to be going on a date, and I ended up coming home and finding out that he took his last breath.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't remember everything because there's a lot of things that happen in between that. But I just know that I was in a real low place. I'm better now. I'm not where I need to be, but I thank God that I'm not where I used to be. I
Mhm.
have a I have a tattoo on my arm. You guys can't hardly
Oh,
see it, but it says spiritual transformation,
okay.
and it has like the caterpillar going up to the butterflies. And what I told him is that when my husband transitioned, I turned into a spiritual caterpillar.
Mm.
And when you think about the story, I know they have other words, but think about the caterpillar going into the cocoon or whatever they call it, and then coming out to be that beautiful butterfly. Well, I was stuck in my spiritual cocoon up until like January or February of this year. It'll be
Okay.
4 years. 4 years in September that my husband's been gone. So I'm now have allowed God to bring me out of that cocoon, but I'm not fully that beautiful butterfly yet.
Okay.
So, but when I get to that point, then my butterflies that you can see right here, then they're gonna be colored in. I know you can't really see them.
Oh, okay. I see
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will. Oh, okay. So it's a working progress on them. Because I was gonna say, is that new? Because I haven't seen that in a.
It's been a little over a month.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. Because I'm like, well,
Yeah,
that must.
that's a whole being a woman in the gospel and all of that. I have people talking to me about that, but we ain't gonna even go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go there. The purpose of the symbolism with your tattoo, I like that.
Hmm.
I like that, and it means it's a lot to you, and I can
Hmm.
tell that there is different phases
Yeah.
um, that you're going through as well, and and that's one thing that I always tell individuals when we're going through a healing phase or a grieving phase, that there's no time that
Right.
you should complete it. Um,
Exactly.
because your time to heal and my time to heal are two different things.
Hmm.
So you heal at the pace that's comfortable for you. And if it takes you however long, then that's fine because that's your healing. And
Yeah.
like you had said, you felt stuck in that cocoon,
Hmm.
and that could, I mean, I don't know what was going on during that time when you felt like you were stuck, but only you know if that
Hmm.
was a time where he was molding you, where he was encouraging you, where he was
All of that.
all of that, working on the mindset and just preparing
Yes.
you to step
Yeah.
into
Hmm.
a different atmosphere.
Hmm. Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, because he has been my late husband has been a part of my whole adult life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm grateful to God. I tell people because I still have people today ask me how I'm doing. I'm like, I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. But it's only by the grace of God
mhm,
that I'm where I am. Uh,
definitely. And do you think people understand when we use that term by the grace of God? Do they think we just make it up, or do they
some
understand?
people that I think some people, depending on who you're talking to, I think that with me, when they hear me, I can't talk about nobody else, but when they hear me say it, they know I'm for real.
Yeah.
They know. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty much straightforward when people ask me questions, especially when it comes to now being a widower. Um, but I tell them I'm now single again. I haven't been single since I was in my teens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not trying to get married again. I don't know what God has for me. Cause people ask me, well, you want to get that's the farthest thing from my mind
In
right
my
now.
mind, right? It's like I'm not even thinking about that.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So right now I'm just enjoying life, and
And finding out who I am. I'm
yeah.
still finding out who I am because I've always been. This was my second marriage. I was married to my my son's father, and that ended in divorce. But I still thank God. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I don't know where I was going. I have um, temporarily living in my body. I have MS and some other autoimmune uh, things, and some of them occurred like before my husband transitioned. So it's several things that I've been um, dealing with,
Definitely.
outside of, the passing of my husband.
Yes. Yes.
I
And
was gonna say,
still
I forget.
and still on a mission for working for Jesus. So tell me about your organization. Tell me a little bit about that because I know you do some. I've seen some community events going on, and
Yes, ma'am.
so
So
tell me a little bit about it.
I'm going to read this. It's something that's on the flyer that we're working on. It says our ministry and volunteer serves the people would call them homeless, but in our Warriors Work for Jesus ministry, we call them our outside neighbors because when I was homeless, I didn't like people calling me homeless with my kids. And so um, several years ago, the Holy Spirit was just talking to me and was like, they're our outside neighbors. They're outside, but they're our neighbors. They're in our neighborhoods everywhere.
Right.
It doesn't even matter. So they're our outside neighbors. So anyway, what we do and less fortunate. At first was just ministering to just our outside neighbors. But then I started thinking, well, guess what? I had a job when I was homeless, but I was going through a hard time. And so my passion, my heart is to help others. That's what Jesus
Mm.
did. He went around helping others, and that's what I love. So, with the Warriors Work for Jesus Ministries, what we do, this is just part of the outreach program. It's just a part of the Warriors Work for Jesus Ministry. There's other parts within the Warriors Work for Jesus Ministry, but the outreach part is where we minister to our outside neighbors and whosoever will, less fortunate, whatever. It's a no judgment zone. I don't care. You can be on your lunch break and just need something to eat. You know what I'm saying? And we always tell them when we do it, because we minister um once a month right now, but we're praying that God is gonna make it bigger where we can do it even more. We're partnering with some other agencies to provide food and just be out there, because we love. My father is the cook, and for the ministry, he's retired as well. And we just want to be out in the streets ministering to souls.
Mm.
Not only with food, because we do provide food, and sometimes we get donations with clothes and shoes, and we pass those out. And like I said, we do that once a month. Um, our main place where we do that at is at Northwest 7th in Virginia. Northwest 7th in Virginia, here in Oklahoma City, which is 1 block east of Penn.
Okay.
So,
So is it like a vacant? Is it a vacant lot or is it
yeah.
for?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, it's a vacant lot. The owner of that lot, we were across the street, and it's a park there, but people started complaining about us being on the park. So, yeah, so we went across. I know, right? The police came. They called the police, and
Are you serious?
oh my God, yes. And we had
So
just finished. Yeah, they were complaining because we were in the park, and a lot of people just, and I understand, but
okay.
a lot of people don't
I
want you feeding the outside neighbors.
okay. So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're doing your service in this in the park,
Hmm.
and I'm quite sure you're not hurting anyone, and
Right.
anyone that needs anything, they're able to get what they need. And
Yes.
so there was a complaint made because you're providing that service, or I mean, did
I
they
don't.
make it seem like
I
they
don't
were
know.
unsafe?
Excuse me. I don't know what all was said, but when the police came up, we were actually finished putting up the stuff, and they came. But they said that we've had complaints about you guys being on the grass and out here doing something. And yeah, so I said, what? And T started to rise up, but then I have to remember I'm representing Christ,
Right.
at all times because he could see me. And so I just started explaining to him what we were doing. And he said, I understand. I had to come because they had the complaints. So I'm like,
Mm.
sir, I've been living in this neighborhood over 25 years. You know, so we moved across the street. And one Saturday when we were out there, the owner of the lot that we were at, he said, y'all can use this anytime. And if you need electricity for anything, just hook it up to the
Oh,
little
well,
line.
bless him.
Mhm.
Bless him and thank him for being considerate. Some
Yeah.
people they don't they don't like to see good things happening in the neighborhood unless they are doing it or unless it's
Hmm.
benefiting them. And we have to stop being selfish like that. I
Yeah.
mean,
And here, we actually have moved around, because we want to do it in different states. Guthrie,
oh,
Luther, America, uh, just anywhere, just showing up. And we're always looking for volunteers and, donors, donations, just all, it's a lot of different ways to minister. And I know, let me say this, I know that we can get grants and we can get all this, but the Lord hasn't told me to go that way. It's all been donations, people from the
mhm,
heart. And that's what I love. And I tell you, you go to the Dollar Tree, we buy a lot of stuff at the Dollar Tree that they
yes.
love. You know what I'm saying? And good. We don't, and food wise, my dad be cooking. They had pork chops. They had pork chops and chicken one month, and they had ribs and hamburgers.
Well, thank you, Daddy. Daddy said he retired, but he still
Yeah, but
cooking.
well, my dad and I are the same as that. We want to give them food that we eat. I
Right,
understand that they will love getting beans and cornbread, getting anything. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
you don't do that.
right.
We,
Give them
I
the
mean,
good that you, yes. And when you give from the heart, it makes such a difference. Instead of, we're gonna make them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and you're not really
you hear
being
me?
genuine
Yeah.
about what you're
Our cold
doing.
sandwiches all the time. And like I said, I know they're appreciative, and I'm not knocking people if they do that. But what I'm saying, one day at least get them a hot meal.
A hot meal. Hmm.
So
Yes, and
that's
it does not take much for someone to become homeless. I work with
yeah.
a large range of individuals of all populations,
Hmm.
and I've come in contact with people that lost their job and couldn't find another job within a month or two and ended up losing their home and had to be on the street.
Hmm.
And everybody doesn't have the family or the support that, some of us have, or, cousins or whomever that they can go and stay with. So we have to think about putting ourselves in other people's shoes of where they are right then. Because you may think, well, how come you can't go and do this? Well, they may not have the means.
Hmm.
They may
Exactly.
have been trying for several months or whatever, and maybe nobody wants to hire them. You have to think about those things.
You just never, you just never know. That's why I
Yeah.
tell people, hey, don't talk about nobody because you don't know. I used to be one of the people, when you see the people holding up the signs, and I'm like, well, if they can fill out that sign, they can go. And then the Holy Spirit had, I said, Lord, please forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know their situation. And yes, you have people that try to beat the system and all that, but that ain't our business.
Right.
Don't be
That's
judging nobody. You don't know.
You don't know. Now, I want to say on your new logo that was just revealed
Uh,
earlier this month, you have a scripture on there.
mhm.
Ephesians. I'm about to
6.
mess it up. Ephesians 6. Can you tell
Hmm.
me Ephesians 6:11 through 18? Why did you pick that?
Because the ministry takes care of the whole person, the total man, the
Hmm.
total body. And in Ephesians, it talks about putting on the whole armor of God. You don't want to go to battle and you don't have your helmet of salvation on or your sword. So when we go out, not only do we feed them, but we clothe them. If when we have a donation of clothes or whatever, prayer. we have people that come in prayer. So we taking care of their spiritual man. We're taking care of their physical man, that inner man as well as outer man. We want them to know that we're representing God. It's not about me. I have volunteers and several other volunteers that they have their own businesses and their own ministries or what have you. And I'm always saying, hey, let people know who you are. A lot of times they don't even, no, this is your, it's about all of us. We're all warriors. But yes, that scripture, that's, like I said, is dealing with the whole armor of God. And the ministry is about taking care of the whole man. And one man is part of man. So when I say man, I'm talking about the females too. But I just love to love on people. Yeah.
So something came to mind when you were talking about the volunteers that help you, and they have their own business too. But you know how it says it takes a village to raise a child, right? I always feel like it takes a community to survive.
Yes, ma'am.
It takes all of us. We need each other, whether we want to believe it or not.
Yeah.
We need each other, and just being able to help and give back. It's something that it does to you. I don't know how to explain it. It does make you grateful. It makes you humble, but it also, to me, I also feel like it plants a seed.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love volunteering, and I love being in the background. It just so happened that when the Lord called me into, let me tell you this. I used to sit in the back of the church and just talk about people coming in, and
It's all right.
the
Hey,
Lord, huh?
thank goodness for growth, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've all been there where
Oh
we've
my
done.
God.
Yes.
But then when the Lord called me into the ministry, I was like, I started thinking, I'm like, now I'm in the front and everybody talking about me. I was like, ah.
It's like, oh, how they say tables have turned, or shoot, how they ever they phrase
Yes,
that,
yes,
right?
ma'am. And I'll be like, Lord, please forgive me. Please forgive me. So now, I know when I'm doing things, people judge me or whatever. I'm like, I ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. What is something encouraging that you can say to someone that may not know what to do about their lives right now? They're not for sure if they're coming or going, or what the case may be. What is something encouraging you to say?
The main thing that I would say is pray.
Hmm.
Pray. If they don't know how to pray, they can call me. If they watching this, they can, ask somebody, go to somebody and ask them to pray. If they go to church, if they don't go to a church building or whatever, just find somebody that they feel comfortable enough to talk to pray with, to encourage, motivate. Look up some stuff. There's so many different things out here for those of us who may be going through a hard time, or maybe having some issues, can't find them, don't know who they are, or whatever. The number one thing that I would say is pray
Hmm. Pray.
and talk, and yeah, and
Pray
ask God,
and
huh?
ask. Go ahead. Finish that sentence.
And just ask God, what is it? Look him in the mirror. Look in the mirror and talk, because he knows our heart. And just ask him, what is it that I need to do to help me to love myself? Because there's a lot of people walking around, they don't even love themselves.
Hmm. I like that. Words of
Yeah.
wisdom. She gave you two actually, if you were paying attention. Almost three, but we'll say two. So I hope you caught those. I hope you caught those. So when is the next? Do you already have another community event that's coming up? I know you said you were working on the
Yes, ma'am.
flyer. So is that for this
Yes,
month,
ma'am.
or is it?
This month, the 29th is the last Saturday,
Okay.
of this month, the 29th. We are going to be, again, we're going to be at Northwest 7th in Virginia, which is one block east. of pen. And if anyone would like to volunteer or like to um, make donations, buy some stuff, donations or money or whatever, you can I give my phone number?
If you want to, help yourself.
My phone number is 405-812-8938. Again, that's 405-812-8938. I just got the number a couple months ago, so I remember. But we have these
Okay.
bottles. These are $5. We're have a little fundraisers so we can, cause we're in need of some things, and then we have these keychains. These have my old um deal on it, but it's still good. My
Okay.
old logo. I was supposed to bend them, put these out, and it has little what you call it?
Oh, the little Cash App thing on the back.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and these are $5 too. It's $5, $5. But just donation. If somebody don't have five, they got $3. Hey, whatever. I'm just trying to um raise money because it's hot out here, and so
Mhm.
we need to get like a tent or what you call those things. The
Like a tent to set up over. Oh, okay.
Yep,
Is
like
there a
those.
certain is there a certain color tent that you prefer, or any color?
Um, well, our colors is Dallas Cowboy colors because my husband loved the Dallas Cowboys, so it's blue and silver or whatever, just blue. Um, but we're just, hey, if anybody wants to donate, whatever color, we'll just take it. That's just the colors of the ministry or whatever. So it's some things that I just have to get with somebody that can help me with flyers and different stuff, like, because I'm not good at all that stuff,
Okay.
to help me um of different things that we're needing for the ministry, like big things,
Hmm.
stuff to help us with the things that we do. So
Okay. So if you want to volunteer your time, service, or means, they're asking for a donation. She did give you her number, so that's big, guys. And don't be calling her late at night. Okay, now, because I don't want
they ain't
her.
gonna
Okay, I don't want her to get mad at me. You're like, oh goodness, here we go. So where can they? Are you on social media? Where can they find
yes,
your
I
ministry?
am on social media. Facebook is TEE Brown. Facebook is TEE Brown. uh what else am I on?
Are you on Instagram?
Instagram. Yep, Instagram, TEE Brown or
Okay.
WWFJ Ministries. Again, that's TEE Brown or WWFJ, which stands for Warriors Working for Jesus Ministries.
I like how she's
And
out there. Warriors.
yeah, I have to think I do have one of my
Yeah,
shirts on.
you
But
do have your shirt on. Ah, I like that. So are you selling shirts too? I mean, let's throw that in
we
there.
will be selling shirts. They're not gonna be like this, now that I
Oh,
have a new logo, we're gonna be having some shirts. Trying to get some merch, you know.
some merchandise.
But I know everybody, have a lot of t-shirts because we got t-shirts for everything. But like I said, it's like if I have stuff, it's gonna be to help, continue to support the
Mhm.
ministry. Because I started the ministry and it was just me doing the things that I was able to do, and then God, yeah. So
Oh,
we have some things, other things coming up that we'll be talking about soon.
perfect. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your words of wisdom, your insight, your encouragement for others to build that relationship with God, just to even if you're considering if you want to go to church, but just to talk to somebody and to get that support that you need.
Yeah,
And many blessings upon your ministries and everything that you're doing for the community, not just within Oklahoma City, but within the Metroplex.
Yes,
And if
ma'am.
anyone wants to donate, she gave you the information. Usually, when she has her flyer posted, I try to make sure that I share that so we can get that out to the
I
people.
appreciate
And she's looking for volunteers, so that's a good thing.
it.
We could never go wrong with that.
Yeah. Dedicated. Yes.
Yes, dedicated. There we go, that part. So I want to say thank you so much for coming on Share the Tea Tuesdays. It has been
Thank you.
wonderful. I know I finally got you on here because she was like, hey, I need to be on Share the Tea Tuesdays. I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let's get you scheduled. But I
Mhm.
appreciate you taking the time to come on and share your journey and your passion with
Yes, ma'am.
us. And many blessings to you again. Just remember, everyone that follows Share the Tea Tuesdays, you can follow Share the Tea with V on social media. On Facebook, Instagram, all of them except for Snap of the Chat. And then also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And remember to always be intentional, to be insightful, and to be impactful in everything that you do. And until we meet again next week, you guys stay blessed. Thank you again, Evangelist. You know I'll be
Thank you
calling.
too.
Okay. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.